to the workshop, tools in the light, screws and glue, they're holding it tight. Piece by piece, it's a builder's delight, making dreams in the still of the night. Let's get into it, let's get building now. Put it all together, I'll show you how. Screw by screw and a little glue too. Welcome to the workshop, it's waiting for you. In the heart of creation, models take form. One more piece and the weather the storm. Engines roar or a ship in its prime, building bonds stronger than time. Your hands are steady, your vision is clear. Dreams in plastic, they're finally here. Every piece has its very own song in this workshop where we all belong. Let's get into it, let's get building now. Put it all together, I'll show you how. Screw by screw and a little glue too. Welcome to the workshop, it's waiting for you. Hours fly by as the pieces align. Apart work, beauty and design so fine. You're the maker, turning vision to truth, building wonders for dreams of your youth. Hours fly by as the pieces align. Apart work, beauty and design so fine. You're the maker, turning vision to truth, building wonders for dreams of your youth.
Hi all, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another Tinker and Talk Tuesday. Now, I'm going to spend the first few minutes of this stream talking. As it happens, you may have seen a very large box has arrived at the workshop, and if you've not had a model from Agora before, I'll just tweak that down. You can see it is a very large box that I've got. Now, reason I have this box is you may have seen beginning of the year Agora Models did their diorama announcement that they're doing a competition for a big scale diorama contest. I happen to be one of the 6 that they've selected, so I am going to show you what model I've got, but I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing with it yet. That will come probably in the next couple of weeks or so, when I've really finalized my idea a little bit. But as I say, at the very least, I will show you what model I've selected. And I have pack 1 of it just here on the workbench. So that's a little bit of a tease for you for what's coming up in the future. What I'm going to be doing tonight is the Flying Scotsman. Not a great deal to do as far as I can see. But basically going to be working on the backhead. As you can see, it looks pretty plain at the minute. So I'll take you into that one as well, and I'll show you, we actually got 2 backheads with this model, and I'll go through that as well with you. So let's take over the workbench, and let's get building. Hello everyone, I am doing fine, thank you. Right, so the camera will decide it's going to focus. pack 1 of the Agora Models build. Now this is the very first Agora Models build that I'm doing. I've not done one before, and having all 12 parts arriving on my doorstep in one go was a bit of a shock. Absolutely massive box, as I showed you, and I'm still teasing you what I'm going to be doing. So here it is. It is the No Time to Die DB5. So I've given Agora Models an idea of what I'm going to be doing as a diorama, and as I said, they obviously liked it. It's in association with the IPMS, International Plastic Modelers Society, as well, because basically the diorama I'm doing, when it's all done, I need to take it up to Telford for the Scale Model World. So the constraints are that it's got to be a meter by a meter by a meter, or within that space. But it had to feature one of Agora Models' vehicles, their current vehicles. And yeah, I chose the DB5. And as I say, I've not done a Agora Models build before, but something like this little brochure they give you, and so, like everyone seems to, gives you a absolutely humongous poster. So I might do a little bit of an unboxing on this on the channel when it comes to revealing what I'll be doing. But as you can see, pack 1 has 7 or 8 parts in it. We've got door, wheels, there's a couple of wheels, tyre, we've got the bonnet there as well. So that's pack 1. As I say, that's all you're getting today. And if you want to see what this turns into and the diorama that's going to be part of, you'll have to stay tuned to this channel. Right, so on to tonight's build. Now you can see I've got quite a few issues here. There is a reason for that, and the reason is half of them we don't need. Now I don't know if it actually was in this one or not. So originally I had a letter, not that one, but ultimately we had this backhead. There's a camera focus, and this is actually plastic. We got this in issue 16, and then partway through we basically got a letter saying that they had seen different photos for an A1, so they basically said they're going to change it. So they gave us another backhead, which apparently is more period accurate, apparently. So you can see a few of the dials and things have moved around. Looks like the firebox hinge, etc., has changed sides, etc. So quite a few differences. I have opted to go for this one, which is issue 30. That's when we got it. So that was how quick, when this was first released, how they managed to find out that they'd done something wrong and change it on a production run. I don't know if any other part work has ever done that before. But yeah, from issue 16 to issue 30, so this is a weekly part, so 14 weeks, and they had a new part ready. So pretty good. And I say 14 weeks, by issue 21 they'd already told us don't fix any of these parts to this backhead, because we need to save all these parts for the part we're getting in issue 30. So they already knew when they were going to get this part out to us by issue 21, which I think is pretty amazing. So that was effectively 5 weeks from that one to this one. So basically none of this we're doing, because this is all using the old plastic backhead. And then we also had the usual bump through the magazine. And then 29, we had a few more parts of the backhead. And again, we were told, don't fit anything to the backhead and wait until you get the part in issue 30. And again, it just went through and showed you where to put parts if you were still using the old backhead. And then issue 30 came along and we got our brand new backhead, so the alternative back leg. So since our experts have uncovered further documents illustrating A1 backhead and alternative metal backhead face configuration that is more accurate for the 1928 model is provided with this issue. If you decide to use it as a backhead, you will need to fix the parts that came with issues 21 and 29 to it. Fixing instructions for these parts and other parts of the alternate backhead will be provided in future issues. So the parts we actually got with this, obviously we had that, but we did get this and some wire. And again, this is still all for the old backhead. Hey, spider sprue. So that is where we would have been, but as you can see, I'm a little bit behind on that. So we can disregard all of those. But I figured I wanted to show you that because, as I say, amazed at how quickly they managed to turn around a new set of parts from a mistake to a new part. And I say, I've certainly not come across any other part work that's done that. So 31, 33 and 34, pretty much the same as what I've just shown you. However, using the new backhead. So basically, the idea was paint it, file off the bottom. And you can see I have filed the bottom off. It's nice and shiny, and it's painted black. And I've actually painted the dials in this one. Now, some of this stuff I'd done years ago. So the brass on there is looking a bit more brown than brass at the moment. So I'll repaint those after I've done this and put it on the back head to make it look a little bit nicer. Got some holes to drill in the back head, one of which I have drilled already. That's a 1.4. I just need to drill 2 1.6mm holes, which I'll do that in a second. And as you can see, paint those on the sprue, which I had done previously. And then case of fitting them. Part supplied with this issue was one of the wheels for the tender. And then issue 33. I have no idea how far I'm going to get through this. Obviously, it's already been 10 minutes into the stream. But couldn't not start with the exciting news from Agora Models. So you can see, just paint those parts, and I have done, as you can see. And we'll get those parts fitted as well. So 2 fairly simple and quick issues. With this pack, we had the decals. And then 34, obviously I have skipped a few issues because those aren't part of the backhead. We had this, so this is from part 30, but we're actually using them in 34. So obviously their change that they've done for this, obviously it's rippled through the rest of the magazines, etc. Parts we actually got with this one was the driving wheel. And then as you can see, we've just got to fit some more parts to the back head, and we even have all the wire, etc. to fit as well. So that is where we get. So a nice drawing there. I was just trying to work out whether that was a Stuart Black drawing, but I don't believe it is. It's got Simon on there. If you don't know who Stuart Black is, check out his illustrations. They're absolutely brilliant. So I have done a bit of prep work, so I have done a little bit of drilling. This is now a 1.6mm drill bit. just going to drill out 2 more holes. It's only quite thin metal, but it's going to be quicker to do it with the drill than it is to do it with a hand drill. So that's one. Now, these do have little dimples on them, so it's nice and easy to actually get the drill centered. And as you can see, quite thin metal, so it doesn't take much to go through. So that's those done. And as I said, we've done that one earlier. And then it's going to be a case of taking these parts off. I have drilled some holes into these as well. So we've got the regulator housing. That's a hole that's gone all the way through. And these ones, I believe, just needed 2 holes in the bottom. And I think they're just a couple of valves which are going into holes we've just drilled as well. So we'll go with the regulator housing first. And that should hopefully just go straight into the top there, if it doesn't keep jumping out of my hand. So try and make sure that's going in all the way. Might need to just open up that hole ever so slightly. Don't know if you saw the mallard video yesterday. Now has the decals on it, which is looking good. That should be better, I think. There we go. That fits in nicely now. So making sure that's straight. And just put a bit of glue on the back there. Right, so with that in there, I believe these 2 other parts are identical. No, they're not. They are opposite. So you need to make sure they go in the right places. And it looks like this one is going on this side. Again, it's a little bit tight, so I'll open up that hole a little bit as well. So we get that one popped in there, hopefully. Obviously, I don't mind them being tight because it's less likely to fall out, but ideally want it to be able to be pushed all the way in. Still not going in all the way, so let's just take off a bit of this peg. Possibly the thickness of the paint that's just preventing it from going in. Normally you don't see these struggles on the mallard. No, still far too tight to go in all the way. Right, there we go. So that one's in there. And as you can see, it's still tight enough that it doesn't fall out by itself. So I think that one's, again, a little bit tight. So I'll just attack the peg. So anyone that's a little bit late to the party, you may have missed which model I've selected from Agora Models. So I'm not actually saying what I'm doing with it yet. That's staying a closely guarded secret for the moment. But I will show you at some point in general chat what model I've got. As a bit of an exclusive to anyone that's just joined, it's the No Time to Die DB5. Right, so that's those three bits now glued in there. And that was all there is to do in issue 31. So, nice quick issue. So this is now issue 33. And we need to drill 2.7mm holes, one of which I have just started previously to the stream. There was lots and lots of drilling as far as I could see on this, so I figured you wouldn't want to see me just doing a load of drilling. So I tried to do as much as possible before the stream. Got one there, and then got one just going in here. I'll just glue myself to the backhead. Bit of rogue glue on the side there. I didn't stuck my finger to it. Right, so these are just going to take a pipe or cable. So they don't need to be super deep. But going with the mallard experience, they need to be deep enough that they have enough glue to hold them in place. So it's all that surface area. That's those two done. Still got glue coming off on the back of this. I think I might have added a tad too much. But at least they're not coming out, so they're staying in place. So next part would have been basically paint these up, which as you can see, I've already done. Let's see if I can change the camera actually. It's a bit low, isn't it? There we go, that's better. Might be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better then. So we've got the little water gauges and a couple of valves and things on there. So need a 1mm drill bit. I'm just trying to work out where I need to put those. I'm now thinking that those two should have been there, and they've put them too close. Because I think that's where the water gauge is meant to be. It's not my mistake. Right, let me switch camera. Look. They told me to drill holes there. But that is wrong. Because on the very next instruction, you can see that they're in the opposite places. So they're on the outside edges. Wasn't my mistake. It was theirs first. So now I've got to try and get those out. It might actually help me that I put a bit too much glue on there. Nope. It's broken the pin, annoyingly. Right. So both of those pins are broken. So not the end of the world. I'll just glue them onto those points. However, it does mean I need to drill out those holes again. But this time it's a 1mm hole. It wasn't my mistake. It was their instruction. Right, I don't know if this drill would do a 1mm. No, not quite. I'm just happy it wasn't my mistake. Usually it's my mistake that I've done, that I've messed it up. Right, let's see if I can get this hole drilled out. To be fair, I could probably get away with using that tab that's there now for the gauge. Wrong drill bit. So, if anyone's still got a 15, 16-year-old part rig kicking around, don't do what I've just done. Don't know that I can drill that one, so I might just have to put the gauge on top of that one. Right, let's try and make sure get these the right way around again. I think all I'm going to do is just glue them in that point there. There is a little stub on the back of this, so I'm just using that stub in the divot, really. Oops. Right. Hopefully I'll hold it in place. Right, let's try and work out which way these gauges go. I believe they're both the same. Right, so what I'm going to have to do is drill those holes, and then with the ones I can't really drill, or certainly that one, I'll just use the leg that's on there and just file it off a little bit until I'm happy with the sizing of it. Though, to be fair, that's actually probably not far off being the right size. So happy with that one. So get our 1mm drill. We'll drill out these bits. Now, not losing too much to the carpet monster, usually the workbench monster, because it goes under the workbench. If you had seen last week's stream, that was a complete car crash. I was doing the New Gear's Cobra, and at one point it probably almost went on the bonfire. But I didn't want to get the same reputation as Wayne for wooden models. And I think that might return next week. Right, let's just see how that will fit on there. Not totally convinced that needs to be a 1mm hole. It might need to be a little bit bigger. Yeah, I think that's probably sat about the right angle, about the right size. I think just take off a little bit of this lower one. Right, I think that should work quite well for that one. A bit of super glue on a bit of paper. Which means I can just dip it into the glue. It almost was Ramon, but it survived. I think I can't remember how many times I took it apart. At least 3, to try and get something to work back properly. And yes, the wife and kids are partial to a small or 2. Right, let's see if we can get this one in and to look even compared to the other one. I think that's a pretty good fit. Let's dip it in some glue. And we'll get that one attached as well. Can you imagine part works like this now, where they turn up, and by the way, you've got to fettle and change and tweak every single part, and then all glue it together. I think I'm happy with screwing things together now. Right, so with those 2 in there, we now need these 2 little valve headers. And they are extremely tiny. So try and switch to the other camera again. And you might have a fighting chance of seeing what I'm doing with something that small. They basically need to go into the holes at the top that we drilled earlier. However, what I should have done is probably drill a hole in this first. We need a 0.5mm drill bit, which I don't think this is. I think this is 0.7. Yeah, that's a 0.7. And if I can find what I've done with my drill bits, I can change. Uh, 0.5. Oh, there's a broken one, so don't worry about 0.5 from that one. Should have a 0.5 in here. Or not. Backup drill bits. I go through so many of these. They're brilliant drill bits, but obviously when you're talking 0.3 to 1.2, 3, 4, 5, they're easy to snap. Now, it's nothing against the drill bits, and it's just the size they are. And to be fair, these are only about a £5. And I get them from Tyrol Models, so not bad at all. What was I drilling? These. So need to drill the inner part of this cap effectively. And to you, it looks like I'm going to be drilling my fingers. Just being quiet while I concentrate on this. So hopefully I don't drill my fingers. Again, this is just going to accept a piece of wire eventually. So that's that one. And then the same for this one. I need to catch up on your train build. I think it looks absolutely brilliant, but I've not seen the most recent, probably the last couple of recent ones actually. I've been so busy I haven't actually watched much YouTube. You notice there's been a bit of a lack of videos on the channel since last week. I've done the Mallard video this week, done the Mallard video the week before, and the Tuesday night live stream. But that's been it. I do still have pack 13 or 14 of the Batten build, and I think the next pack's on its way to me, so I need to get that one done really. But it was also my twin daughter's 7th birthday on Thursday, so that also took a bit of precedence as well. It wasn't even Thursday actually, we went to Longley on Thursday. It was their birthday on Saturday. Was it Saturday? 12th. The wife's in chat, she'll correct me if I'm wrong. And she'll take great delight in correcting me if I'm wrong. Right, so they're going to fit in there nicely. And you haven't corrected me, so I'm assuming I'm right. Of course, that depends whether you were paying attention. Right, so we're just going to put this in this way around. So we've got that cap facing downwards. Do the exact same thing for this one. Try and get that to go into the other hole. And hopefully be straight. Like that. So that's what the back head is now looking like. The camera will focus that close. Is that all there is to do in that stage? Yes. The only exception was paint the gauges white, which I've already done. So that is issue 33 done. And I don't know if I'm going to get through all of issue 34. Let's just switch camera again. So lots of fine details for this one. Need to make sure the shelf's not too close so we can fit some wire behind it. Need to drill out some more holes, 0.5mm holes, which I've already got a 0.5mm drill bit on there, so let's get that bit done. At the very least, let's get the holes drilled and we'll get these little handles in place. Oh, I don't know if you were part of the beginning of the stream, Spider Sprue, but I've got a very large box right next to me, which you might have to go back and check out what that contains. No idea where I'm going to keep it. It's taking up half the workshop right now. Right, so basically it's going to drill out these 3 holes here. Don't need to drill them too deep. Again, just going to take a bit of 0.5mm wire. But ideally, you try and get it as straight as possible. And with any luck, not snap the drill bit. As I said, these are absolutely brilliant drill bits. They're twist drill bits, so they really pull themselves in. But if you just get the wrong angle, they will snap. Right, so I think they're all pretty good. So also with this pack, we got a length of wire, which I'm assuming is the 0.5mm wire. And I seem to have lost every single knife that's usually near me in the workshop. Cheers, Spider Sprue. Still Even with the big box right next to me, I'm still a little bit in disbelief that I was selected and that they obviously liked my idea. But now I've got to make an absolutely huge diorama for Telford. Right, so I'm sure you've seen me do this before. To get a bit of wire in, just dipping that into a bit of super glue. Get one bit in first. We cut this down, so leaving quite a bit exposed for the minute, and then we can cut it back flush when the little handles are in place. So next one. Now that would be fun, but I have no idea whether I'd be anywhere up to the Sprueverse challenge. Although I have to say that that Stan Art shark that he done, that looked amazing. I actually saw Wayne in his workshop when he was partway through that build. So I've seen that one up close, or part of it up close. Right, so we've got those 3 points in there now, and somewhere we've got the handles. Looks like we've got a few different versions, so let's make sure we get the right ones. Fit 3 large hand wheels, part 107 by 3 onto the locating wires. So presumably that's these 3 here. And they have given us a spare if I do drop one. Let's just double check from the original part list. Yeah, so 107 are those ones there. One, two, three. So these are just going to go onto those points we've put in a moment ago. And they do fit quite nicely, which is good. So let's just get rid of the burr on the end of that. Just round that off. When I was doing a bit of a mock-up, yeah, a truck would be a good idea, but hopefully I can make it so that it can be disassembled and reassembled in place. That's my aim. And although I've got an idea of what I want to do, actually putting it into practice is a whole nother level. And to be fair, I probably will put my modelling technique to the challenge. It'll certainly be the biggest diorama I've ever created, and I dare say the biggest model I've ever created. Right, so I'm just getting these wheels on there first, and then I'll run a little bit of glue down the wire, and that'll hold them in place. Right, so that's those three in place. And what I'll do is I'll just use the same bit of wire and just dip it in a bit of glue, and that will allow me to transport a little bit of glue to the wheels and hold them in place. And with any luck, I can make sure that they're relatively straight. Now, we've done some work on the backhead for the mallard, but I don't think we've got any wheels or anything on there at the moment. Really can't remember. Right, so that's those ones in place, and I think the last thing I'm going to do tonight is put these two wheels onto the other parts that we put in earlier. Right, so these smaller wheels are going to go onto those two valve points. So one thing I wouldn't mind doing, actually, obviously we've got the mallard, we've got the Flying Scotsman. I wouldn't mind doing a tornado kit. Now, if you've been watching the mallard, then you might know that you can get a similar model from DJH Models. Again, same with the Flying Scotsman, I believe. I might need to go along and have a look if I can get a. I think it's an A3, is it? And make it a tornado. Now you've opened up a can of worms there, because that would mean I'd then need an evening star as well in the same scale. And then I could even say I'd need a second Flying Scotsman, so I can do it in BR colour. So you could end up having another couple of engines. Yes, not on the footplate, but we've definitely been pulled by tornado. We've been on the footplate of all the last surviving A4s. Many, many, many years ago, I have been pulled by the Flying Scotsman. I think that was on a special gala day at Didcot or something like that. Right, so that's what the back head is looking like now. Certainly looking a lot better than when we started an hour ago. Now, obviously, there is the shelf to put in here. Got a couple of bits for that. Is that the only thing left to do on this one? Got a bit of drilling to do. Oh, and we've got all the pipe work to do. So I'll save that for next time, I believe. So that is where I'm going to leave it, and I think that's looking pretty good. Let's just, as it's close by, do a quick comparison with the Mallard. So now I've been doing a bit of work on this, trying to get it to all fit and shape properly to fit it into the cab, which is why it's looking a little bit run down at the moment. But I should have known that I've put the handles on there, etc., because obviously we actually painted it black. So, and then now I think I'm missing one of the handles. So might have to dig from a box. I think we might have had a spare for that. So something to look out for at some point in the future. But if you haven't seen the Mallard video, go check it out, because it's looking really, really good now. Right, let's switch camera. And so I think that is it for tonight. Super excited about this box sat next to me, and yeah, do stay tuned to the channel and you'll see hopefully at some point in the future what I'm planning on doing to that box of parts. As for tonight, the back head for the Flying Scotsman is looking a load better than it did when we started the stream. So thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one next week. Cheers.